If you wanna be crypto savvy, we can help you skip those valleys. Let's rally, yeah. If you wanna be crypto savvy, we can let investments.
Welcome back to Be Crypto Savvy. We are jumping into a little news and crypto updates, and Binance is leaving Canada, citing regulatory tensions. Crypto exchange Binance has announced that it would cease operations in Canada, citing the challenging regulatory environment. We had high hopes for the rest of the Canadian blockchain industry, the company said in its tweet on Friday. Unfortunately, the guidance related to stablecoins and investor limits provided to the crypto exchanges makes the Canada market no longer tenable for Binance at this time. Over the past year, Binance has received increased scrutiny from North American regulators and appears to be ramping down operations in the region. Earlier this year, Binance said it was considering severing ties with U.S. business partners. Binance co-founder and CEO CZ is a Canadian citizen, with the company describing its exit from the country as holding sentimental value. It does sound kind of like the U.S., Canada, and the United States in a lot of different situations are pretty lockstep and similar viewpoints on a lot of these things, so this is not a surprising situation. It's an unfortunate situation, for the common citizen in Canada, in the way things are moving in the United States citizen as well. Moving on, Department of Justice's crypto chief, no exchange is too big to fail. In an interview with the Financial Times published on Monday, Ms. Choi, head of the Department of Justice's National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team, said her agency is going after companies that commit crimes or permit them to happen following a significant growth in illicit activities in the digital asset space. But on top of that, they're allowing for all of the criminal actors to easily profit from their crimes and cash out in ways that are obviously problematic to us, Choi added. And so we hope by focusing on these types of platforms, we're going to have a multiplier effect. Her comments follow a year in which the cryptocurrency sector was rocked by the fall of FTX, which had been founded and ran by Sam Bankman-Fried. FTX had been seen as a solid presence in a rocky industry. The now disgraced founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, has been charged with numerous fraud and conspiracy charges, although he does maintain his innocence. In addition to FTX, the law enforcement agency has also targeted Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange. The industry observers also noted that the prosecution of Binance or the founder, CZ, could further destabilize the crypto world. But Ms. Choi told the FT that the size of the company is not something that the department will countenance while weighing potential charges. Which I do 100% agree with that. It shouldn't matter how big the person, the individual, the entity, the company, it shouldn't matter the size. If there is illegal activity going on, they should be punished. However, this just goes back to the fact that we don't have clear regulation in the crypto space. These departments are regulating off from punishments, and instead of leading us with regulation to adopt and adhere by, these crypto exchanges are just being punished after the fact, even after they've been asking for the answers and the regulations to abide by, because they're trying to follow the law. There just isn't the law available to them to follow. Meanwhile, other federal agencies have been upping their crypto enforcement efforts as well. As covered here earlier this month, the SEC Commissioner Gary Gensler has so far this year handed out 13 enforcement actions, putting it on track for more than a 25% increase over last year's numbers. Along with shifting the focus from individual tokens to trading platforms that cater to U.S. investors, Gensler has separately increased the number of enforcement attorneys in the SEC's crypto unit, a move that observers say indicates the SEC chair intends to execute further charges in the coming months as his agency casts a wide net as possible. So again, long story short, all we're doing is seeing regulation by enforcement. We don't see that clarity within the crypto space that's needed. So whether you are an exchange, doesn't matter how big or small, whether you're a blockchain company, within the United States right now, it's a tough place to be. Sticking with the same theme here, crypto companies are playing poker with the SEC as agency cracks down on the industry. So a couple of the key points here, crypto companies have issued bold threats to leave the US, highlighting concern that the Securities and Exchange Commission's industry crackdown is becoming too harsh. They're playing a game of poker with the SEC, testing the limits of their lobbying power in the hope that they can make the SEC back down. Doubtful, but whether they'll leave or not is debatable. The US is a huge market with over 50 million Americans owning crypto. Major players are hoping that the SEC and Washington takes what crypto watchers see as bluffs seriously and soften the hard line that regulators have taken on the industry. Executives at firms including crypto exchange Coinbase and blockchain services company Ripple have piled on with comments laying into the SEC and signaling plans to shift business overseas in a bid to rally support and send a message to the U.S. politicians concerned that the country may miss out on a key technological innovation, which is exactly what's happening. The United States, and now we're seeing Canada do it, are literally pushing innovation away. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong said last week that the SEC was on a lone crusade with its tough actions against certain crypto companies. The SEC is a bit of an outlier here. Armstrong told Dan Murphy in an interview in Dubai, I don't think Gensler is necessarily trying to regulate the industry as much as maybe curtail it. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, also tore into the SEC this week when asked for his message to Gary Gensler as the company announced an expansion into Dubai. He quipped, "Who?" before later saying that Ripple would have spent $200 million defending itself against a lawsuit initiated by the SEC by the time it's over. $200 million on a lawsuit centered around not having clear and concise regulation within the industry. Could you believe spending $200 million when you've been asking for clarity and have not been getting it? How insane. I find it as a company that started in the United States, as somebody who is a U.S. citizen, it's sad. I have sadness about this. The U.S. is getting passed, not just by a little bit, but by a lot, Garlinghouse said. The tough thing about this is you have a country that I think puts politics ahead of policy, and that's not a good decision if you're trying to invest into the economy. Agreed. As far as news and updates, we'll just leave it with that, as all those more or less tie in with each other. Price of Bitcoin at the time of recording is sitting at $27,393. We're currently playing with our level of support, hoping to remain support. Could possibly and easily break down and turn into resistance. However, you will have to catch our next video as we talk about the price point and prediction of Bitcoin based on artificial technology and machine learning with the help of the range report provided by our partners over at genie.io. So make sure to stick around for that as we jump into the range report, and we will catch you folks on our next video. See ya.
Like, comment, and subscribe.